wake, grind, scroll, repeat. Your to-do list is endless. Your inbox is flooded. Your dopamine is fried. You work harder than ever, and yet somehow feel more behind than ever. But what if the real problem isn't how much you're doing, but why you're doing it? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery, once said, "Freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it." If he were alive today, watching us burn out, chasing followers, performance reviews, and one more launch, he wouldn't be surprised. He'd say, "You've traded chains for metrics. You're still a slave just to shinier masters." In Epictetus's world, slavery was literal. In ours, it's psychological. You don't serve a master, you serve the algorithm, the quarterly goal, the invisible applause of people you'll never meet. You wake up anxious to perform, not because you're lazy, but because you've been trained, rewarded for motion over meaning. You chase growth at any cost. Sleep becomes optional, reflection, indulgent, stillness, weakness. But Epictetus would have looked you in the eye and asked, "Is this freedom? Or have you just become very efficient at avoiding yourself?" That's the trap. Hustle convinces you that exhaustion is noble, that productivity equals worth, that achievement will finally quiet the noise. But the Stoic sees through that. What if your hustle is just avoidance dressed as ambition? Epictetus taught that there are only two domains: what's in your control and what isn't. Your values, yours. Your decisions, yours. But outcomes, reactions, metrics, never truly yours. And yet, most of hustle culture is built on those externals. You feel good when your post goes viral, empty when it flops, energized by compliments, defeated by silence. The result? A life lived on borrowed emotions. When you let numbers govern your peace, you're not working. You're performing constantly. The Stoic flips the script. You measure progress not by applause, but by alignment. Not by what you earn, but by how you act. You may still chase goals, but they no longer own you. Most people treat burnout like a logistics issue. More sleep, better scheduling, a new app. But Epictetus would say, burnout isn't a scheduling problem, it's a values problem. You burn out when your energy is misaligned with your principles, when your effort serves ambition, but not virtue, when you work nonstop, but never pause to ask, what kind of person am I becoming through this? The Stoic doesn't fear hard work, but he works with intention. He knows what he's serving. He builds systems that protect his sanity, not sabotage it. And when rest comes, he doesn't feel guilty because he never believed that worth comes from fatigue. The modern grind is powered by dopamine, short hits, quick loops, tiny victories that feel like progress. Epictetus lived without screens, but he understood addiction. He saw how men become addicted to praise, to comfort, to being seen. He warned that pleasure makes you soft, that it clouds the mind and twists priorities. Not because joy is bad, but because unexamined pleasure breeds weakness. Compare that to discipline, the steady cultivation of virtue, waking with clarity, working from values, choosing depth over noise. The Stoic doesn't scroll for validation, he reflects. he journals, he realigns. In a world of dopamine chasers, the disciplined man moves like a ghost, unseen, focused, undisturbed. Epictetus often spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within you that no one can breach. Not your boss, not your critics, not the market or your metrics. This inner citadel is built through reflection, restraint, and radical honesty. When you recover that space, when you stop living on timelines built by others, you regain the ability to choose what matters, to choose when to rest, to choose how you define success. This is where the anti-hustle Stoic lives. Not in laziness, not in passivity, but in sovereignty. You still build. You still create. But you don't grind for the sake of grinding. You serve your work without letting it consume you. Epictetus was born a slave. But he discovered a truth most of us never will, that real freedom isn't external, it's internal. It's the ability to rise each day and say, this is what I will do. This is who I will be. And nothing outside me gets to decide otherwise. So if you're tired of chasing, exhausted by proving, burned out by trying to be enough, stop. Pause. Ask the Stoics' question, is this within my control? And if not, let it go. Because peace isn't found at the end of the grind. It's found the moment you stop being owned by it.